All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. You are joining the information session for the Volunteer Infrastructure Project or program, and we are going to be discussing the AmeriCorps program this morning. My name is Kimberly Harnish, and I'm the Volunteer Services Infrastructure Manager for OneOC. What that means is that I oversee our AmeriCorps program as well as some of our infrastructure building projects for volunteer programs that we'll be discussing a little bit today and then also in future webinars. I've been with OneOC for just over 3 years and have really enjoyed working with the AmeriCorps fellows and the partner sites over the last 3 years. So I'm excited to share with you today a little bit about our program. I'd like to also share that we have you all on mute. We are going to have a question and answer session at the very end of the webinar. So if you have any pressing questions, of course, please enter them in the chat. Otherwise, write them down, hang on to them, and then we'll be able to discuss those at the end. I wanted to start off by saying welcome. I found this really cool slide that made, or this really cool photo that made me really think about everything that we're doing as nonprofit professionals, especially during this time of COVID-19. You know, we're really being pushed past some of our regular boundaries. We're being challenged to do things that we have not done normally. We have had to shift and rethink and pivot and all of those things. And I think that we all deserve a little pat on the back for the hard work that we're doing. So thank you so much for what you're doing now and what you've always done as a nonprofit professional for the community. So I just wanted to share that with you and say thank you. So I want to start with why Volunteer Infrastructure Program. These are some of the reasons that many nonprofits decide to join the program, and wanted to share that with you so that you can look and see which one of these items really resonates with you. For many nonprofits, volunteers are just simply desperately needed. Some do not have the staff capacity to focus on a volunteer program. Some are looking to develop either a new program or enhance an existing volunteer program. It is a cost-effective way to add human capital to achieve specific goals. And what we're really going to focus on today is that there could be a change in leadership, change in strategy, or change in circumstances that really forces you to relook at your program and how it's run and what you need to do to get it to become effective and smooth running. And the other question is, why now? So, you know, we just talked about COVID-19. The word unprecedented, I think I've heard 4,000 times in the last couple of months, but we are in unprecedented times. And so now that we're starting to reopen and we're starting to look at that timeline of when is our office going to open, when are we going to be bringing people back in, when are we going to start incorporating volunteers, one of the most important things is that we are thinking of volunteers coming back, but re-engaging them safely. So what new processes and procedures do you have to implement? What new strategies will you use to recruit, train, and retain your volunteers? And what new roles need to be developed or expanded to meet the current or the changing needs? So why now? Because now is the time to prepare for that. So the agenda for today, we're going to be doing a little overview of the Volunteer Infrastructure Program, go over some partner agreements, kind of what our role is as OneOC, what the partner sites' roles are, and what site supervisors' roles are, the application process, and then at the very end, we will have a question and answer period. Also, this is a very short time that we're going to be together. We're going to be together for just about a half an hour. And as I was putting these together, I realized, gosh, it's so hard to put down on a slide what you do every day. So bear with me if there's not enough info, too much info, but we're all friends here, and you can ask me any questions at the end. So OneOC's mission, as many of you know, is to accelerate nonprofit success. We do that by providing volunteer capacity building support with programs like our concierge services, Match, Meet, and Serve, volunteer management outsourcing, AmeriCorps, RSVP, days of service, and actually a lot more. Today, we are going to focus on the AmeriCorps VIP program. I'll actually be having future webinars that we will be kind of touching on all of these other topics, but today we'll be discussing AmeriCorps VIP. So what is AmeriCorps? It's a partnership between federal government and community service agencies like ours, and CNCS, or the Corporation for National and Community Service, they provide the funds to support AmeriCorps programs across the nation. OneOC actually works with CalServes, who is the holder of the grant. We are the sub-grantees, and they work directly with California Volunteers, who is the oversight for the state of California. Fun fact, AmeriCorps is also known as the Domestic Peace Corps. So if people have never heard of it and you explain it to them that way, then they're like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. AmeriCorps is a statewide program, so while we host the program here in Orange County, it's actually a statewide program that includes 4 regions, 13 counties, and 11 supervising orgs. So OneOC is considered a supervising organization for our region. This year, we will have about 100 AmeriCorps members statewide participating in the program. OneOC is actually the largest supervising organization. We, if you see the little blue circle, we're that little tiny little speck there. However, we are actually responsible for 25% of the program, with the number of members that we have and the number of sites that participate with us. So a little bit about AmeriCorps members. So who are they? Why do they want to do this? AmeriCorps members are citizens who commit to national service in return for a modest living stipend. So they do receive a living stipend twice a month. They have access to health care and child care if needed. They can put their student loans in forbearance. And at the end of their service, they actually receive an education award that they can use towards a future educational pursuit. This year, it's just over $6,000, and they have 7 years to use that. A few other motivations for people wanting to be a part of AmeriCorps. For some, they're simply taking a gap year, so they're maybe finished their undergrad, they want to go to grad school, but not quite sure what they want to do or what school or what they're applying for. So some are just taking a gap year. Some folks are interested in the nonprofit sector, so AmeriCorps is a great way to get people in to learn about what we do as nonprofit professionals and what type of impact we can make. Some folks are looking for a change in their career path. Some are re-entering the workforce, and some just love community service. They love to be of service and want to do this for their life. So if you notice with these bullets, there are lots of different age categories that AmeriCorps members can fall into. We've had people, you know, from in their early 20s, even to their 70s. So it is a program for all. So the VIP program, what does that mean? Basically, each participating site hosts a full-time AmeriCorps fellow or an AmeriCorps member for 9 to 11 months. These members commit to serving 1,700 hours over the course of their service term, which actually equates to between 35 to 45 hours per week, depending on when they start. This year, the service term start dates are September or October, and I don't have a specific start date because that varies depending on when you sign up for the program. So, you know, you could start on the 10th or the 15th. So the start dates kind of vary. What doesn't vary are the end dates. So if a member starts in September, the end date will be July 31st. If they start in October, it will be August 30th. And in the rare case that members start in November or December, which does happen, the end date will also still be August 30th. So they have a little bit less time to do the same number of hours. Hang on just a second, I'm let some people in. All right, so some of the goals for the program, what do they do for your agency? Basically, it falls under 4 categories. They focus on infrastructure and capacity building, volunteer recruitment and retention, fund and fundraising, and then professional development. So they do have specific goals for the program that they spend different amounts of time in each particular category. And the goals are actually something that you will also help to define in your volunteer application or in your VIP application, so that you do have a say over what types of things need to be taken care of for your organization. VIP is a partnership between the partner site, you all, and OneOC. So basically, if you sign up for the program, we're signing up to be a part of each other's lives for at least a year. So what does OneOC do? What is our responsibility? OneOC actually covers a lot of the HR aspects of the program. We do the member recruitment, screening, and background checks. We distribute the living stipend. We do the healthcare administration. So anything that's kind of that administrative aspect of having an employee per se, OneOC takes care of that. So it really takes the burden off of you as the partner site to have to handle all of that or cover those additional costs. OneOC also provides member and supervisor training. So members do go through extensive training. One of the first things that they take is the volunteer management certificate, and so they can be ready for the rest of the year. We also do provide supervisor training and oversight throughout the term. OneOC ensures grant compliance. We help you with any necessary disciplinary process. It's rare, but it does happen, but we are here to support that for you. And then we also provide an AmeriCorps VIP team leader to support the members, and so they're that direct contact with the AmeriCorps members, help to provide some training, but it's just another layer of communication with OneOC to help be successful in the program. So as a partner site, there's a couple of responsibilities. Number one is to make sure that you have an adequate workspace for the member. Unfortunately for this program, there does have to be an office location or a location where the member and supervisor can be with each other throughout the day. We'll talk a little bit about teleservice later, but for the kind of the basics of the program, you do have to have a workspace that they can serve. Also, there does need to be an on-site paid person, full-time person as the member supervisor, so you will designate a supervisor. You will be allowing the member to attend OneOC sponsored trainings and events, and so those are things that are kind of just ingrained and part of the program that we ask you to allow them to partake in. Also providing some professional development opportunities for them, and paying the required cash match or the program fee by the agreed deadlines. So what the site supervisor does is we make sure that they get background checked, participate in a supervisor orientation, supervises the members, addresses any concerns with me, with OneOC within the first 24 to 48 hours of an issue, participates in monthly supervisor conference calls, which is a really great time for the supervisors to be a part of a network of other AmeriCorps supervisors. There'll be probably about 20 to 25 other partner sites so that you can share best practices, discuss challenges, request resources. So it's a good time for supervisors to get together and collaborate. Supervisors also approve the timesheets for their member, and they submit quarterly data reports. Most importantly, they coach their member to success. So as a site supervisor, your role really is to help coach and guide your member. They will come in with certain sets of skills, but also some certain areas where they're hoping to improve in their professional development. And so as a supervisor, they really do look to you for that guidance. And so being a good coach will help you be successful as a supervisor. And we think about all that, but COVID, can't forget that little wrench. So in the event that normal programming is not able to happen in the fall for whatever reason, but particularly due to COVID-19, the program will still continue. The program, it'll make necessary adjustments, including allowing the fellows to serve remotely, as well as expand some of the service activities that they're able to do for your organization. So, you know, kind of all of that uncertainty and unknown, the one thing we do know is that the show will still go on. It just may go on a little bit differently, and I think we're used to that by now. As of now, our current VIP members, they're still serving. This year, due to everything that's happening, they have been able to serve remotely, which is in and of itself unprecedented for the AmeriCorps program. So our VIP program across the state is really kind of setting the stage for what teleservice looks like. It's a really great opportunity to show that even from home, some great work can still be done. Our partner sites are, some of them are super essential services, our food banks and our food distributions and our shelters and things like that. So about half of the members have been serving this whole time at their sites, and the other half have been serving from home and getting just as much work done. You can see here that that they have contributed this is just since mid-March through May, so it doesn't include any time that they've done in June, but they've already done 2,700 hours in direct response to COVID-19, packaged and distributed almost 30,000 pounds of food, served 12,000 seniors, and they were even able to help with some of the distance learning support for our Tustin Unified School District, and they managed almost 5,000 volunteers in this short time. So this is an example of how things can still happen and go on, even if we're still dealing with COVID in the fall. And I am speeding through this. We have 10 minutes, so again, please go ahead and write down your questions if you have any. But the application process. So there's an application package that consists of a partner site application, which it's very similar to a simple, almost like a grant application, where it wants to know your organization, your demographics, your mission, and then also really understanding how having somebody help you with your volunteer program is going to affect your site. How is it going to make an impact on your site? There's a supervisor information sheet, which basically has the information of the designated supervisor and the contact info, as well as a volunteer capacity assessment that is a form that you will click and take the assessment online. And that assessment measures your level of volunteer capacity based on 47 indicators. And based on that, we can help determine a work plan for your fellow. There's also a letter of commitment that will go out that your organization will sign, as well as submitting the $2,500 non-refundable deposit to OneOC, and that really kicks the member recruitment and all of that good stuff, kicks that off. This application package is sent to CalServe. Excuse me. CalServe is the statewide administrator for our VIP program, and that's who I report to. So we send that application out to them, and then they get back to us to let us know if your site is approved. Prior to sending anything to CalServe, if I notice anything that is questionable or isn't filled out enough, I always work directly with the partner site to make sure that any questions that I have, we can clarify. We can adjust or modify things or really think about certain aspects of the application. So It won't just go straight to them. It'll come to me first. We may or may not have a discussion, but I will let you know when it gets sent to CalCerts for final approval. The program cost is $19,000 for the term. The deposit that you submit is credited towards the total cost of the program. So the remaining balance would be $16,500. We do have an incentive if paid in full. Some folks may be able to pay it in full, but you'll save $500 in that case. So your actual total would be $18,500. But this year also, because of COVID-19 and understanding that our budgets are a little bit volatile right now, we don't know what's going to happen, this month versus the month of December. So for the first time, we are allowing monthly payment installments to go through 2021. But with those payment installments, there does have to be a sign up for auto pay. So if that's an option you're looking at, we work with you directly with your organization to decide what that amount is going to look like each month, and then finance will help set up the auto pay. This program cost is all inclusive, so you think about the cost of bringing on a full-time employee. It's not just their rate of pay, but it's the benefits and all of those other costs that are associated with bringing someone on. So for this amount, OneOC covers all the HR functions, all of the training programs and training fees, workers' comp, health insurance. For the recruitment aspect, we recruit for your fellows on various different platforms, and so all of those also are included in this cost. So it's an all-inclusive fee. For AmeriCorps member recruitment, there are a couple of different options. We do ask that partner sites participate in recruitment, nothing that costs any money, but maybe posting the position on your website, posting it on your social media, and we will provide you any templates and things that you can use. But that helps to ensure that we can get some candidates that are already looking at your organization or already looking at your website for interest. But OneOC's professional recruiter will do a blanket recruitment for all partner sites, but also very specific to your site. So she will reach out to you, meet with you, have a discussion on what you're looking for, what type of candidate you think would be best for your organization. And then we will post that, as well as determine eligibility, screen them, background check them, and then really work with you to find a good match for your site. In addition, you can recruit your own member. So if there is somebody in your organization that maybe is already a volunteer and you think, wow, I'd love to pay this person for this great work they're doing, you can recruit your own AmeriCorps member. It could be a volunteer. It could be your neighbor who does this type of work. It could be a former staff person who, is taking some time off, but maybe wants to be re-engaged. You can definitely recruit your own member and do your own recruitment process. That's your choice. I did want to share that next Wednesday, the 24th, there will actually be an AmeriCorps member info session where potential AmeriCorps fellows, those who are interested, can join that webinar and get information and see if it's a program that is right for them. The timeline for enrollment, so by July 17th, we're doing our first round one priority application deadline. And why is it a priority? By July 17th, if your application is in and everything is good to go, there is a 95% chance that you will have your spot in the program. You will be early for that member recruitment and have more time to really bring in the right candidate. So have those applications in by July 17th. In August, we're doing the member recruitment and matching. August, September, we're working with you to prepare your site and your work plan. And September, October, your member will start. Oh my gosh, I whipped through it in 27 minutes. So if you're ready to get things done, what questions do you have? How can I help? We have a couple of minutes for a Q&A, and I am open to any of your questions. You can Let's see if there's any in the chat here, actually, which I haven't looked at, sorry, this whole time. In the chat, we do have the partner site application process or files, so you can download those from the chat box. I will also be following up with an email that also has those attached, but feel free to download those now. Any questions? All right, well, I wanted to share with you that being a part of this program for a service term is very rewarding, not only because of what can get done at your organization, but also I think the relationships that are built. Seeing your AmeriCorps fellow grow in that service term and really grow and thrive and be able to go out into the world afterwards and be successful, and you are a part of that. So I would love to have you join us this year. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. And sorry. And last but not least is my contact info. So please reach out to me via email here. This is my cell phone number, so texts are okay. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. You can shoot me a text. But other than that, I just want to say thank you all for joining me today, and I hope to hear from you, and I hope to have many of you apply for the program. Thank you very much.